Hi everyone, this is Chantay, aka Shantizi on Twitter and Instagram, or just simply just Chantay. So I'm here with a Sunday edition called Chantay's Analysis. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, as I am Shantizi, or subscribe to my YouTube channel, just Chantay. Hey Paul, how's it going on this Sunday? So I'm just going to bring you the coronavirus because, as I said on many of my shows, the coronavirus is deadly, and we're still facing a crazy, ravaging pandemic. Even though, I mean, we just finished an election cycle, a tough one, but we're still facing a threatening, deadly pandemic. I'm glad everything is well. So, according to the Johns Hopkins website, we have global confirmed cases in 189 countries at 50,327,258. The global death toll is at 1,255,490. U.S. confirmed cases is 9,962,900. And the death toll here at home is 237,567. So we're close at reaching 10 million cases. So I'm going to read that U.S. number again. 9,962,900. U.S. death toll, 237,567. Yeah. Now, the cases at home, I'm focusing on at home. Normally, I focus on the global cases, like the full, like countries with the highest cases during the week, but it's the weekend, so I want to focus what's at home. And as of yesterday, we had over 126,000 new confirmed cases of COVID-19. So, according to the New York Times COVID map for states, we have Texas. Texas, as of yesterday, reached over 1 million cases. So they're the first state to have over 1 million cases, with a Republican governor who seems to not give a damn. So I'm going to just read these numbers. Texas have 1,015,915 cases of COVID, followed by California, who's on that trajectory to having 1 million cases as well, 975,535. Florida, 843,889. New York, which was once the epicenter of all this, is still at number 4 at 533,784. Illinois, which Illinois is really catching up, and they're in the red according to the New York Times COVID map because they're about to have 500 cases. They're about to, maybe the next state to go over New York's total at 488,980. Georgia, 390,617. North Carolina is at 293,431. Tennessee is at 277,073. Arizona is at 259,299. They just round that top 10. They knocked New Jersey down. Now New Jersey has, I forgot to read Wisconsin. Wisconsin is number 8, 281,910. Forgot about Wisconsin. New Jersey now is at 256,395. But Ohio may be the next state to surpass New Jersey because a lot of states have surpassed New Jersey. New Jersey used to be in the top 10. New Jersey is now the 11th highest cases. And New York may be the 5th largest cases if Illinois don't overtop them, which I'm predicting, maybe it's my prediction, that Illinois may have more cases by the next 2 or 3 weeks more than New York's. So I won't be surprised. But of course, there is no national plan. And I keep saying this every day because we're still facing a raging pandemic wherein Now, which is wave 3 in the fall, cold and flu season, you don't know if you have a sign of coronavirus, you don't know you have a sign of the flu or a cold, or your sinuses is just bothering you, or your allergies, depending on where you at, bothers you. I know here in New York, we're having strange and unusual weather. It was cold like the last 2 or 3 days, and now it's warm. Like I wore sandals today in the middle of November in New York. That's crazy. So we have also a climate problem. We have a lot of problems going on. So this election was saved by Black people because we're tired of living in chaos. We've been living in chaos for the last 4 years, and we helped save democracy, especially Black women. I, among those Black women, helped save democracy. But let Eva Longoria tell you something different, which I'm going to play this clip because it bothered a lot of Black people, both Black men and women. And I'm appalled because I'm shocked it came out of her mouth. So I will just play this just for you.
Tuesday night at 9 p.m. What you just walked us through, the huge margins I walked through in the last segment, the power of young voters, and particularly a diverse coalition, and really people of color, but specifically women of color, putting Joe Biden over the top and what that means. If that all just exploded along with, a clear electoral vote margin a Tuesday night, that might have sunk in. Instead, we had a lot of other stuff between then and now that doesn't really matter. And so I wonder what you think about that, because going forward, this is also about power. And does the Democratic Party understand why it's back in power?
Yeah, I think you bring up a good point. I mean, I think, campaign financing needs to be looked at. I think the way in which we campaign, there were so many false ads in Florida in Spanish. Spanish wasn't regulated the same as in English. And so I do think we need to take a look at that. Again, our work is just beginning. But I want to talk about what you just said about the women. The women of color showed up in big ways. Of course, you saw in Georgia what Black women have done, but the Latina women were the real heroines here, beating men in turnout in every state and voting for Biden-Harris at an average rate close to 3 to 1. And that wasn't surprising to us. Latinos are the CEOs of the households. They make all the financial decisions and healthcare decisions and educational decisions. Many Latinas are small business owners, and they wanted a plan for recovery for themselves, not for Wall Street. And so Trump's policies were never aimed at the struggling Latina community. And, if you look at voter suppression on top of that, how Latinas showed up, even through the closing of polling places and the shutting down of drop-off sites and new voter ID laws and long lines and driving 30 miles and all of that. And on top of that, restrictions and safety protocols of a pandemic. That spirit and perseverance that Latinas use in their daily lives, the struggle to pay their bills and the struggle to show up to their jobs and homeschool their kids and take care of their elders, that's the same perseverance and spirit they use to show up at polls.
I have respect for Eva Longoria, but that really bothered me. I just want to pull up these exit poll numbers or these pre-poll numbers, whatever they are, because that really disturbed the dog shit out of me. So I have to find my documentation before I really go off. So according to these numbers from the New York Times from New York Times elections, whatever. Those who voted for Trump, 57% of them were white, of course, 65 and older. White men, 58%, because it's broken down in gender. White women, 55%. Latino men, 26%. Latina women, 28%. Let's say that again. Latino men, 36%. Latina women, 28% versus 70% that did vote for him. Black women, only 8% voted for Trump. while a whopping 91% voted for Joe Biden. Exactly, Miriam. And you're half Latina. I don't want to, out your nationality. And you know this. Eva, irresponsible statement. 28% of Latinas voted for Trump, and more so Cubans and probably some Venezuelans and some Colombians and a little bit of Puerto Ricans. Not a lot. So when you say Latina women showed up in numbers, 28% showed up in numbers for Trump, while 70% showed up for Joe Biden. Because half of them believed that the Democrat Party was going to showcase socialism. Are you stupid? Joe Biden is not even a socialist, nor yet a damn progressive. Even though some of his policy stands are more progressive than Bernie's. Climate change, gun control, economics, duh, healthcare, hell yeah. Or whatever. But the simple fact is 28% voted for Trump versus 8%, a very low number of 8% of black women voted for Trump. And it's probably like the Candace Owens and the Melissa Tates versus the whopping 91% of black women that voted for Donald Trump. While 80% of our men voted for Biden and 18% voted for Donald Trump. And you know what, Paul? It's just like, and Miriam, don't be sorry, by the way. And Paul, that Mexican man must be a man with a lot of money, because he has talked so much shit about Mexicans, putting a wall against Mexico, having the U.S. pay for it. Let's see. Basically calling them drug dealers, rapists, murderers, which I never know of a Mexican being a drug dealer, a rapist, or murderer. Never in my life. Yeah. So I'm just like, what? Huh? Weird. But that was irresponsible. Eve, I hope you send out a tweet and say, like, I'm sorry, but I just felt like, yeah, Paul, I agree. Eva, and I know you didn't mean it to be vicious or mean, but it was an irresponsible statement. And asinine. Moving along. Since Biden and Harris won, I was on high. I was happy. Most of the people I live in New York City, they were happy. But then you have some disgruntled progressives. And it's not all progressives. It's just the ones that have the highest following, the blue check people. They're just sad. So I'm going to just read one tweet from a particular progressive. I don't know exactly what he does, but I'm going to just read this because it really pissed me off. And we're supposed to be on cloud nine. We're supposed to be getting ready to invest in these Senate runoffs in Georgia. And we're already having a policy fight, which I'm like, Biden and Harris didn't even reach the goddamn White House. They didn't even start the transition yet until tomorrow. But I'm going to just read this tweet because I just fucking can't. So this is Adam Best. I think he's an entrepreneur and filmmaker. That's what he does. Progressives are getting thrown under the bus for Dem losses. So let's analyze what won and what lost. 1. High earner tax in Arizona, $15 minimum wage in Florida, pay family leave in Colorado, legalize weed in 5 states. Lost. Moderate Democratic incumbents who didn't run on a bold agenda. So, of course, this progressive will be so disgruntled and so irresponsible to tweet that dumb shit. What these progressives fail to realize is that their messaging, and because of the protests, Donald Trump weaponized on that, and the Republicans saying defund the police is abolishing the police, which that's not the case. Most smart people, you don't have to be a commentator, you're just going to be a regular person, know that defund means cut or stop funding a particular entity or a group or an organization or a department or an agency. Defund the police means cut or stop the funding. It wasn't abolishing the police. People want law enforcement. I want law enforcement, but I want law enforcement that is not going to racially profile me, talk to me a certain way, or able to assault and kill me. So that's what defund the police means. The problem with the progressives, some of them was like, fuck the police, which I understand. Well, I can say fuck the police because they mostly attack black and brown people. Some of these white progressives, y'all can't say that shit because the police never fuck with y'all like that, the way we get treated by police. And some of them say abolish the police, abolish the police, abolish the police. And Donald Trump took it and ran with it. Frying like bacon with pigs. Like Kayleigh McEnany kept repeating that at press briefings, and they took along with that shit. QAnon is a whole nother thing. He amplified QAnon, and they took and ran with that shit. So progressives have to think smart before they start messaging. They need to talk to their moderate Democrat colleagues in the House or in the Senate to like, hey, this is what defund the police means. The vice president-elect was actually for defund the police, but she didn't say defund the police. She just say demilitarize. And even sometimes she didn't say that. She just say, let's reimagine the police. Reimagine the police and police reform, such as the Justice and Policing Act of 2020, which is sitting on Mitch McConnell's desk. This whole race overall, which progressives never understood, only a little bit, was about race. Donald Trump made it about race. And the fact is that we have a black VP elect. Before she was our black VP elect, she was the VP candidate who was African American, well, black because she's Jamaican, black and Southeast Asian descent. So there were white Americans that 58% of them did not want to see change. They wanted things the way they were. I guess they wanted us to continue to get our asses whooped by the cops. Black people to die from coronavirus because it's not really fully affecting them, which it is affecting every American. Over 235 Americans are dead. Almost 240,000 Americans are dead. Not 237, but over 235,000 Americans are dead, and almost 240,000 will be dead. We getting over 100,000. Some odd cases keep going up day by day. and they didn't see that happen in climate change. This election was based on race. And these progressives continue to live in la la land. They don't understand the critical state of our country. They talk this big game talking about we need to galvanize progressives, we need to do this, we need to do that, blah, 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 blah. But the minute that we have a winning ticket, who didn't even reach the fucking White House, the incumbent didn't even call to congratulate the president-elect, nor better yet, invite him to the White House, which is probably a danger zone right now, proves right then and there that Donald Trump doesn't care. And these progressives seem to not get that or understand that shit. So I would like for them to understand that this is not a normal presidency. Or I say residency. This is not normal. Donald Trump is not a normal leader in that White House. He is a disgruntled jackass. A straight up bum, Queens sewage rat. And yes, I said because he is from Queens and he's like the sewage rat in the sewers in New York City. And that's truth. So I would like for these progressives to get their heads out their fucking ass, stop living in la la land, and face reality. If you want more agendas passed, get a group together, write an agenda. Some of you with blue checks, y'all can get access to Kamala and Joe better than average folks like me. Y'all can get the Kamala. Y'all don't want to. Because y'all wanted two old white ass people, 171 and the other 79, to run this country when they couldn't even fucking galvanize black people. Elizabeth Warren couldn't even communicate her message to black people in the South. Bernie Sanders had the opportunity to reach out to black people, but instead took his ass somewhere else and didn't even address black people on issues. He was not even for the issues that black people care about. And Bernie Sanders supporters did not turn out for him during the primaries. He actually lost support. And I know this is going to hurt so many progressive feelings. I know some of y'all going to unsubscribe or unfollow me. That's fine. But I am speaking the truth because I'm tired of some of these progressives always insulting Democrats or their fellow Democrats. I'm sick of it. I had enough. They're bastardizing the word progressive. They're bastardizing actual socialism. Socialism doesn't mean it's one thing. You have a choice of either having the general option, the public option. No, excuse me. You rather have the actual general healthcare or a public option. It's Medicare for all and that's it. Because how about people want their job healthcare? My sister needs her job health care because she has anemia, asthma, chronic asthma, and allergies. And that includes food allergies. So I don't understand their problem. I really don't. Because I had just about enough of their shit. You're about to get progressive agendas passed. I don't fucking understand. Yeah, Trump made this a thing, but my issue with progressives is they play into Donald Trump's hands. And Donald Trump, what he does with the messaging, because Republicans are good at messaging. They will say like the devil is, lives in with this person, and they'd be like, oh, it does. Like, that's how he plays into, and the progressives plays into it. They attack other Democrats, and you can't eat your own, because the Republicans see that, and Donald Trump saw it, and he weaponized it. Some of these moderate Democrats should have spoke up and say, no, this is not how my campaign is. This is how I want to run my campaign. That's the only mistake that they made. They should never, when it comes to defund the police, what they should do is just say, I am not for it. We want law enforcement, but however, we don't want law enforcement to hurt Black and brown people. That's how you start off your conversation or answer the questions. They speak to the stupid. Yeah, they do. Hello, but I'm saying this to these progressives. You guys need to sit down. And I know you didn't want to hear the sermon, but you guys really need to sit down with moderate Democrats in red districts and talk to them. Was like, what is your constituency? What does it look like? And how these people are? Or better yet, invite them to one of your town halls. So that's my advice. And I'm not even a strategist. Don't want to be. Don't have no desire to be. Because I am not knocking on no one's door. That's not everybody's thing. My thing is just to commentate and look within, on the outside. I think I did an okay job on it, but that's just what I do. So that's just my advice. And for the moderates, you got to get a tight knit on your answering questions and on your messaging too. You cannot fall for the trap, the Republican trap, because the Republican trap is play on this message, but you have to answer it a different way. As I said before, yes, defund the police. They should explain what we can reimagine, like Kamala did, and say we want law enforcement. We don't want to get rid of law enforcement. What we want to do is reform the police so Black and brown people will not be harassed or not be afraid to even go to the police. Or imagine yourself if you're Black or brown. Close your eyes. Do that. And not fall for the Republican trap. Well, that is just my advice. And I hope if they're watching this or if this, because it's on my timeline, they will understand. But I'm going to wrap this up because it's almost 12. Thank you for tuning in on Sunday. I normally don't go live on the weekends. I try not to. And I hope you have a good night. And I see you tomorrow. Thank you.